This cat rolling in this bowl of flour generates a whole lot of questions, much more when paired with this title. Are they really going to cook the cat? What does that word mean? Alhamdulillah? If you search the word online, you'd find that it was a Muslim phrase in Arabic that meant praise be to God. Even if you knew that, it still didn't help your curiosity. But if they aren't going to cook the cat, why on earth is there a cat being rubbed in a bowl of flour? If you keep searching around for an explanation, all you find are videos of people playing along with the joke. The video which seems to have started the joke being a poor quality recording of the first part of the first episode of Sonic X. After seeing this, some people laugh and just end the search there. Maybe even leaving a comment about how they got there. But you aren't satisfied yet. You still want to know what happened to that poor cat in the bowl. Why are you still curious? It's not like there actually was a video about a cat being prepared in a bowl of flour. The feeling you get when looking at this cat is like when you notice a car wreckage on the side of a road. You can't help but stare. According to scientists, this feeling is caused by the stimulation of your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for your emotions, your survival tactics, and your memory. The amygdala then sends signals to your frontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for your conscious thoughts, to then judge the severity of the situation. This is commonly termed the fight or flight response, which you already know as the feeling you get when you either want to fight a threat to make it go away, or to fly or run away from a threat so that it doesn't hurt you. So why do you feel this when you look at a picture of a cat in a flour bowl? Well, your fight or flight response gets triggered for several reasons. It appears in the form of anxiety when you're about to take a final exam, but it can also appear in situations where you know that you are safe. When you look at a lion in a zoo, there's a cage separating you from any danger, but you know the lion can still hurt you, so you stare at its eyes to know what it looks like. You pay attention to how it moves, hyper observant to even the slightest movements of the animal. This is because your brain wants to both face its fears by staring at the thing in front of it, but also to analyze and understand it so that it may be better equipped in the future to deal with that situation. Go on a roller coaster for the first time and your heart rate will spike as it goes down a random drop. Do it 9 more times and you'll be used to anything the ride can dish out to you.
And that's because I know what to expect, and therefore my fear response is not as dramatic. Now I've learned that nothing bad happens, I can really control that fear all the way through.
Your fight or flight response can even be triggered when you see something harmful occur to another form of life. This is because once your mind is put in a situation where it feels a potential threat occurring to someone or something else, it can more easily empathize with what the other life is going through based on what the brain interprets and thinks will happen. On top of this, our mind reacts more strongly to negative emotions than it does to positive ones, and in turn, we feel more empathy when something bad is happening to someone else rather than when something good is happening. But the question still remains, what happened to the cat in the flour bowl? Well, let me tell you how I first fell down this rabbit hole. I saw this thumbnail of a cat in a bowl covered in some sort of flour, and from that moment, I was hooked. The situation was just so absurd. Part of me was sincerely concerned that the cat was being prepared to be cooked alive, with another part of me, fingers crossed, hoping that it would be a joke that would pay off. Fortunately, the latter turned out to be true. It isn't until you stumble on a video by a Japanese hobby YouTube channel called Taipei Nikki or Taipei's Diary that everything starts to make sense. This cat is covered in adhesive. The adhesive was from a mousetrap glue in the kitchen. Taipei went to the vet, and the vet said to give the cat a kinako bath, or in English, a roasted soybean flour bath, to help safely remove the adhesive from the poor cat. The YouTube channel Haytham uploaded the first part of the first episode of Sonic X over 11 years ago. Judging from the comments, they probably changed the title and thumbnail to the one that you see today around 11 months ago. Perhaps it was to avoid the obvious copyright infringement. But a more likely and even more entertaining theory is that Haytham saw Taipei's original video and found it funny that people in the comments were actually concerned, wondering what Taipei was doing to the poor cat. And after adding a pinch of creativity, changing the title to something that only few would understand, Haytham moved on with their life, probably chuckling to themselves at their own weird sense of humour. Little did they know that that joke they made would bamboozle thousands of other people. I don't know if everyone finds it funny when they come across a Sonic X video with this title and thumbnail. Some might even think the joke is in bad taste since the idea of a cat being baked alive is pretty tragic. But in the end, Haytham managed to throw me down a rabbit hole, which taught me that a cat owner went to a vet and the vet told them to rub their cat in flour because it got its fur stuck in rat glue. And that is a ludicrous and absurdly incongruous rabbit hole that I'm glad I fell into.